already in the session, Rodrigo, and the other one's hi. Nice to meet you. So I don't know if Anna or
so
you want to do an intro? Yeah.
Today we will have something special. Today this session will only be in English, and next week Isabel will be facilitating the German session, and we will be recording this session too. So yeah, go ahead. The camera in this case is yours.
Okay, so I'm gonna share 1 second my screen, and you're gonna all tell me if you see well. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Cool.
Nice to meet you too.
Yes. Nice to meet you too.
Perfect. So let's go. So I'm going to start by asking you a question, and let's see what you think. My sessions, you will see, I talk very little. You talk a lot, and I don't do much. I drink my coffee. So you will see you're going to have to work more than me today. So the first question I'm going to ask you at midnight is, why did you think this post that I wrote in LinkedIn had more than 10,000 views? So I'm going to read it very quickly. Okay. A few months ago, my son asked me, why do you have to work if other moms don't? It caught me by surprise and made me feel terrible. I then started to justify myself by trying to give him rational answers that I thought would make sense to him, because work is important, or simply you go to school and I go to work. But none of these answers seemed to satisfy my son or me. I was trying to justify myself instead of explaining why I actually choose to work. This is when I decided to be honest and openly talk about how work makes me feel. For me, working is about challenging myself, trying to find solutions to difficult problems. It's about helping others. Working makes me feel useful, challenged, and most importantly, happy. You know when you manage to finish the Lego set that you were trying to build for a few days? You feel thrilled, excited, and proud of yourself. Well, work is my Lego. I have fun, it makes me feel smart and proud of myself when I finish. He listened actively, understood, and never doubted me working again. Don't be ashamed of being a happy working mom. Be proud and explain to your children why your achievements beyond being a mom are also important. You are teaching them a lesson, and most importantly, setting an example for their future. So why do you think this post had more than 10,000 views? For me, it's a lot when compared to others. So yeah, here there is a hand raised. Go ahead. I don't see your name. Sorry, because Michelle. Okay.
Hello. I'm very excited about this session, and I think your post went viral. Firstly, because it connects with the people, because you're telling a personal story. And when you tell a personal story, people always feel identified with your story. Second, I would say that you're giving a clear example, like with the Lego thing. So that also makes the message very, very clear. And yeah, I would say mainly because of that, but because other moms also might connect with what you say and feel identified.
Cool. Very true. Most of it. There is another hand raised. Sorry.
Yeah, I think so.
Adriana, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, for many reasons. Actually, it's really beautiful. I have to say that first is because I have emotions, and the best thing when you write something for others is have to be honest. And here it's really clear that it's coming from your heart. And when it's transparent, when it's honest, then you don't have to do anything else. It's just go ahead. It's transparent. It's really transparent. When it's transparent, you don't have to show anything else. It's the feeling, the pure feeling.
Perfect. We don't have to do the lesson. You said everything you're going to learn today. Both of the things are true. And this is what we're going to discuss today, like why personal stories matter to people and how can you use your story, right? So we are in an era, and this is what we're going to be talking, where we go from charts to chats, from norms to names, from reports to reports. I really like that way to explain what is happening right now in the world, especially with COVID, right? With this, the empathy revolution now, where everyone is looking for reports, everyone is looking for real people, for having real chats. And this is what you need to remember. You guys, entrepreneurs, you were born as entrepreneurs in the COVID era. We need to be more human than ever. This is the era where your personal story matters a lot, okay? And this is my story, just a very quick introduction. So here on the left, you have my father and my mother. My father is from Argentina. My mother is Moroccan. I grew up in Barcelona. I was born in France. And my brother is a movie director. This is one of his movies, the one you see on the lower part, and lives in Paris. And I studied business in Barcelona and did part of my MBA in Boston. Now you're going to try to connect all the pictures. And very quickly after finishing, I realized I did a mistake with my studies, or that's what I thought, because I started to interview for very big companies. And I was like, oh my God, this is not for me. And everything I found was boring. And they were telling me I had too much character and things that I was like, well, I thought this was something good, until I ended up in a branding agency, which changed totally my opinion. And I found a real passion, which was how to connect the society with the creativity, with my business learnings. And I started very quickly to get passionate about, and I started working in a leading branding agency in Spain. And after a while, I moved to Tel Aviv, where I became a partner of the agency and opened the first international office. This is the picture you see up there. And I was a partner in the agency for 10 years, working for big multinationals like Nestle, Danone, and L'Oreal, companies like around the world, until a couple of years ago, where I moved to Zurich. And I left the company I was working to found Buch and help companies find their purpose and organize all the brand efforts and growth around purpose. And that's what I do today. This is my son, Liam, and my daughter on the right, Noah, 6 and 4 years old. Poor kids, they were born in Israel, speaking Hebrew and English, Spanish, and now speaking High German, Swiss German. And so the diversity where I grew up and that I thought I would not have to pass to my kids, they are the same as me, citizens of the world. So that's my story. And here I am. I'm very happy to be here. So today I'm here to help you use your personal story as a tool to strengthen your brand story. Okay. So what is happening today? And I talked a little bit about the COVID era. So today, these are some data that back up the reality of what's happening. 60% of the millennials are belief-driven buyers. This is crazy. 60% of the people buy based on their beliefs. 85% of Gen Z believes brands should be about something more than profit. So all of them, mostly. And 71% agree that they perceive a brand, if they perceive a brand is putting profit over people, they will lose trust forever. So this data is crazy. This just shows that we cannot let purpose and personal stories and authenticity and credibility and all the things that Michelle and Adriana said out of our brand anymore. So personal brands are more important than ever. And founders and leaders are meant to bring the trust and authenticity that the brands are asking for, okay? So this is the sentence that summarizes why. People don't really care how much you know if they don't know how much you care. I mean, how can you expect someone to care about what you're telling if yourself, you don't get emotional, you don't really care about what you're saying? When I read the story, you read the post about my son, I cared. It's something that is close to my heart. If you don't care yourself, people won't care. And that's the lesson number one you need to understand. Emotions are something good, and we're going to talk about it and how to leverage on them. So there is a general lack of trust in businesses in the world. In France and Spain, for example, 63% of people don't trust businesses anymore. So we are in a trust crisis where founders become critical. There are big companies like, for example, Deciem or Coty, where the founder himself is personally responding to followers in social media. And this is crazy. This is something new that before would be impossible to have today. Okay, so even very big companies are now leveraging on founders to bring this authenticity and trust. So now you're thinking, well, my life is not that interesting. Or the other option of what you're thinking is, well, I'm afraid to tell my story and what others may think. But let me tell you something. By telling your story, you can change the world. And I mean that. And you will see an example now, very important. Someone I have a small guest. So your story is unique, it's personal, it's authentic. And this is what your audience is looking for. And it is the time to tell your story. It's now. Okay, there is not another moment. So let's go step by step to help you embrace, share, and connect with others through your personal story. And in the step number 1, we're going to talk about the what, your story. Then we're going to go through your personality. How do we tell it? And then we're going to go through the appearance, the channels, the way you look, the way you talk, and some of the social media channels. Okay. So
Meli, one thing. Can you talk a little bit slower?
Yeah, I can. Sorry. Is it too fast for everyone? Sorry, I'm used to it. I will go slower. Sorry. So the story. So something important is that when you share your story, you allow yourself to be seen. Okay, there is something like putting yourself out there and everyone can see you, and people feel sometimes weak or vulnerable. But with vulnerability comes power. And this is something magical that happens, right? When I shared the post out there, you were feeling my struggle. And part of this feeling that you were struggling with me was part of the powerful story. And immediately when I wrote this sentence, I thought of a dear friend and also client, but most of it friend, that is a founder with a very, very emotional and interesting story. So Sana is here, and I invited her to tell her own story. She was like you a year ago. And after a year, she successfully launched a company that is now like creating a big buzz in Spain and around the world. And I will let her tell her story and how her personal story have helped her succeed where she is today. So I will let her now talk.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Meli. It's my pleasure to be here with all of you. So my story, I have to say that until I started working with Meli, which was last year, when I decided to jump and start this project, I was so afraid of sharing my everything, my past, my present, my future. I was so afraid, and she pushed me really hard to make it, and it became the weapon that I use now to run my life. So thank you, Meli, for pushing me that hard. I was born in Morocco. My parents are from Nador, which is in the north of Morocco. I came here, they took me here when I was 15 days. My father, he had a bar in El Raval, which is a kind of complicated neighborhood in Barcelona. And he was mostly dedicated in drugs. He was a drug dealer. My mom, she got married forced by her family when she was 15 years. And I came when she was 16. And she came here with me in her arms, but her life, it became a nightmare. My father, he was all the time in problems. He's been in prison so many times. He was alcoholic, he was consuming drugs. Our childhood was kind of tough, and my brother, he probably suffered a big part of this. After some years, I just made a decision of, I didn't know what I wanted in life, but I saw my mom dying like almost all my life. And I just decided to be independent, to be strong, and not become my mom. That was probably my only goal in life. I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew what I didn't want. So I started studying. Studying maybe was my tool, the tool that I used to concentrate, and seeing my mom, I think, helped me and pushed me to to get up every day and make a change, a part of me was thinking that I was maybe not doing which was right, because I am Muslim, at least my family, they are Muslim. I was supposed to get married when I was 14 years. Then I canceled the marriage on my 17th, just right before I met Nelly, which was in the university. And that decision, it was a big break in my family. I stopped talking to my dad with 14 years, with this engagement. And then when I was 17, and I canceled this marriage, they just decided that I was not honored to be a family member anymore. So I disappeared. I took all my stuff. I had a motor accident. I had to quit the studies, start working. And then I've got some calls from the police telling that my dad was going to kill my mom and he was looking for me. So she went to a special house, to like a protective house where my brothers and my mom were taken care. And after all these years of nightmares, finally, I decided to be the owner of my life. I might not be the daughter that my mom dreamed, because I don't pray, because I eat pork, because I drink wine, which I really love. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I'm 33 years, but I am owning my life. I launched this project thanks to Melly. She pushed me really hard. I was carried about everything. I had only 108 euros in my bank. I had nothing, like nothing. And now the investors valuate the company by 2 million, which is only like 1 year after we started. So it's just crazy. I feel things are coming together. I feel that sharing my story and like that pushed me to remember what I don't want in my life. That pushed me to stick on who I am and not what people are expecting from you or they want to do with you. So the most important thing is when you connect with yourself, you know what you want, and you believe in you, and you lose the afraidness. How do you say, like miedo?
Like the fear.
The fear, yeah. So here I am now. I started Zina a year ago after 5 years in the wine industry. Even I was working in the wine industry, my mom was telling my family that I was working for Coca-Cola. So I don't know how she did this, but yeah, they felt so embarrassed because I was in the alcohol industry. I left the company in 2018 because I had so much pressure from all of them. I was engaged. I met a guy, Syrian Palestinian, living in Barcelona for 14 years. And we met, we started a relationship, and we had our two families just pushing so hard to get us engaged. And we planned the wedding, everything, finally. And he also pushed me to leave the winery. I had the chance of going to New York. I've got a scholarship from IESE, a business school here in Barcelona, which are, I think, in the top, I don't know, 7 or 10 in the world. And I got this chance, and he didn't want me to go because he wanted me to stay home with him under control. And I decided just to break with everything, take my stuff, go in there. And then when I took this year, probably was the most amazing year of my life. I sold everything. I gave up everything, everything in my house, all my clothes, everything. I took just a bag. I went to United States, then to Mexico. And I realized that the industry, that like the wine was what I wanted. The wine was what I loved. The wine made me a human being. It was a kind of a strong like point of inflection in my life because I was born in Barcelona, well, in Morocco, but I came when I was 15 days. So I'm from the city. I'm used to be like all the time, not very connected with the nature. And so being in the wine industry made me again a human being. So I really felt so thankful with it. And I stopped listening to people, and I realized that that's what I wanted. And I decided that I realized that I'm a drive changer. Somehow I've been somebody since I was a kid, just making the change in everything. So I said, then I realized in the United States, I saw the canned wine. And I remember going to one of my friend's house in New York, and she opened the fridge and she was like, hey, what do you want to have? And I said, hey, I just want to have a glass of wine. And she said, we have like rosé, or like grab the one you want. And I said, yeah. Then I went to the fridge. I opened the fridge, and my mind, right? I was expecting to see a bottle of wine. And she said, you have here the rosé, you have the white, you have the red. And I'm like, I don't see the wine. Like, what is the wine? So then I realized that it was canned. And I was like, how can you give to a Spanish person, which like we have this Spanish tradition and wine tradition. So I'm like, am I not like going to have this shitty beverage? And then I took the courage to open it. I had the glass. It was a Grenache from California. And it was stunning. And then my mind blew. And I was like, oh my God, how is this possible? How anyone like can do wine? So then I started just like searching around. I got like so sick. I met everyone in California. I went to California. Then I did like so many interviews, market research in Europe. I like when I started with Mandy, she said, you are probably my first client. I've never seen like so much work before start working. And I wrote everything about canned wine, cans, sustainability, like everything you can imagine, because I really needed, because this is my third company, and I needed to feel the control, and I needed to feel that the know-how, I own it. Because in other countries, other companies that I started, I felt somebody else had the control. And being the CEO of a company and a founder, you need to manage the know-how. It's so important. You have to be the one who understands. You have to be the one who answers each question that you can find anywhere, even coming from your investors, from journalists, from your team. You cannot delegate this to someone else. Like, hey, go and ask the winemaker. Hey, go and ask. No, I needed to be the one who tells people and who shows the knowledge. So that was the time when I launched the company. I felt strong enough to say, now I know what I'm talking about. I've been 5 years in the wine industry. I know everything about cans, and no one knows about canned wine because it's not a product in Europe. So I called Melly and I said, you know what? Let's make the verification of wine. Let's pack wine in a can, and then, yeah, we start working hard, and things are coming together. I feel so proud of myself. I have to say now, it took me so many years to say this about myself, but yeah, I have to say that I feel proud of myself. I feel so grateful. I say thank you every single day even for my past. I embrace my past. I embrace who I am, and I embrace to be here now, and whatever that comes in the future, the only thing I know is like me, who's gonna drive it. So everything I want will come. There is nothing that can happen to you that you don't control. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. And Sina.
Well, if you had a doubt about the power of personal stories, I think no one has a doubt anymore. I mean, I'm gonna let 5 minutes if someone has questions for Sana before she goes. She's leaving in 5 minutes. So if you have specific questions for Sana, someone?
Yes, may I ask?
Sure.
Yes, Sana, what was preventing you from going live with your wonderful idea?
The failure. I
Mhm.
was afraid to fail. Yeah.
Okay. Uh-huh. Congratulations, because it's a very inspiring story.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. But you all have your own story, and you can make
Yes.
it your tool to run your life. Yeah, it's the most unique that you have. So embrace it.
Anyone else has a question for Sana before she goes?
Medhani.
Yes. Hello, Sana.
Hi.
So inspiring your story. Just a bit, just a question. What happened to your family now that you are in the other side of controlling your career, your life? So how do they see you now?
My mom, she's sad. I am just very disappointed with her because it could be easier if she would not be my mom, right? So you don't have to listen to her, you don't need to care about her. But I've just made a decision of getting a beautiful country house here in the wine region. It's the first house I have in my life. Well, it's a plan, but I feel so excited because we never owned anything in my family. We don't have anything. Like, you know, we don't have houses, we don't have properties. So I made this decision, and she's just like, every time I share with her any good like goal I achieve, she's not 100% happy because I'm not the standard girl that I was supposed to be. I'm not married. I don't use hijab. I don't pray. I don't give her my kids. So my relationship with my mom is not that good. My relationship with my family, since they know that I'm in the wine industry, I don't know. I don't have any relationship with my family at all. I don't have any relationship, which makes you feel so lonely. Which makes me feel that I am still trying to find my place. I don't have my mom's place or my family place where I can lay down and cry. I don't have this support of anyone. I just know that if this company doesn't work, I may, I don't know, look for a job again and start again from zero, and I will do it because that's been my life all the time. I've been just like making it, and I've been like rocking and sometimes failing, following, but it's okay. It's part of life. It's part of your learning. But my family, you know what? My family probably are my friends, are the people that I choose and I pick, and they are no longer maybe my back. So that was a big decision I had to make as well. Say like, no, I'm like not carrying anymore with this back. It's just too heavy for me. It's too heavy to be someone's expectation. So even they are my family, I decide not to have them in my life. So it's okay, and I'm happy with it, but it's tough. It's tough. You have to be strong enough to say, I am living my life, I'm being independent, but the cost.
Okay, Sana. Sana, what does Sina means?
Mhm.
Does it have a
Warrior
meaning?
princess.
Yes. Yeah, it has a meaning. Go ahead, Sana.
Yeah, it's the warrior princess. It's
Nice.
Shana. It's Shana. It's Shana la princesa guerrera. So yeah, but it is a
There you have it.
You're a warrior.
You were meant before you knew
This
it.
brand, for you to know from the brand book perspective what happened, this brand was fully inspired by her. Totally. Everything that happens in the brand comes from her story.
Amazing.
No, Brambo did an amazing job. Amazing.
Sana-
Pamela has a question. Sana, you have 2 minutes? Yeah,
Sí,
go ahead.
sí, go ahead. I have.
Sana, yeah, it's marvelous what you are sharing with us. Thank you very much. And I want to ask you, in those moments which how you identify your limits, how you identify that it's a new start, because sometimes you can lose the way, and sometimes you can also go in another way that you were not thinking, and then yeah, you lose your objective. So what is your methodology, how you do it, how you identify your limits, then you stop and then start. Maybe you can comment more about that. Thank you.
Thank you. This is a very good question. It's actually a question that turns around my head many times, because it's true that I have a kind of internal and inner power. I am ambitious, and it's okay to say it, that I want to achieve high, because I was supposed just to get married and clean houses, right? So the limit, sadly, it's sometimes my body telling me, stop, it's enough. I am now in this vicious circle of stress where I just work most of the time. I woke 6 a.m. and then I am until yesterday. I went to sleep at 1 a.m. answering emails. And the only limit I have is when my body says stop. And I know that it's not good because I was diagnosed with lupus, which is a chronic disease, and I have fatigue disease, and I am aware that it's going to cost me a high price to keep running and the level I'm running. But probably my limit will be one day when I say to myself, hey, Sana, you've done enough. You have to feel proud of yourself. And it's okay. It's okay. You have enough. But the word enough is not yet a part of my mindset. So
Rita has a question. I don't know, for Ana Maria and Julieta, it's okay if Sana answers another question. You're fine with it?
Yeah, sure. There's still an hour and a half. So
Yeah, I know. For me, it's fine. I feel like they really engaged. So I want to let the flow. If Sana is fine, Sana, you can.
yeah, it's fine.
Keep going a little.
It's
Okay.
good. Yeah.
So go ahead.
Sorry to take your time, Sana, but I just was curious, because you've started something which was a year ago, and congratulations on your success, which is brilliant. It's an inspiration for all of us. What I wanted to ask was that there would have been times where you probably felt really down in the dump and saying, that's it, I want to give it all up, and this is not worth my time or effort. And if you did feel that down moment, what did you do, or who do you look up to take you out of that phase and saying, no, I have to do it? Because
it's so interesting because this is not the first project I start, and I've been abandoning like so many others because I had this attitude. I had this fear that was dominating me and pushing me not to do it. And that time when I committed to launch Zina was when I decided to commit. I said, I am committed to this project. I am doing it, and there is no a way back. So if you like jump on the train, you have to commit and stay in that train as far as it gets, and you will get stopped anytime you want, but commit with it. Don't let yourself or anyone to tell you not to, or don't even listen to people. So, but make sure you wanna do it, and ask yourself, why am I doing this? And if something happens, I have a friend. He's from Brooklyn in Manhattan, in New York, and he launched this yogurts. They are kind of Greek yogurts, so like deep in fat, and they are from Australia or Oceania, I don't know where, but he started his business when he was just like putting a table outside his house in Brooklyn, and he was giving people, illegally of course, to try his grandmother yogurt. And when he found out like how people loved his mother yogurt, then he realized that, and he made the decision of jumping and make this happen, because somehow he wanted to everyone know how good her grandmother was making the yogurts. And he turned the company, and he sold the company after 8 years for $600 million. And when he shared this the first time, I was like, how you made it? That was before I started Zina. And he said, I asked him, how you made it? How you managed all like the problems, and even the managers who tried to take his position. He had so many like like sad situations. And he said to me, Sana, every time I was down, I had to go to the fridge. I had to take one of those yogurts and remember why I was doing this. And anytime I was like, fuck, my grandmother. So then he said to me, you have to find your yogurt. You have to find that this why that will never turn you down. So find your yogurt.
And in terms of on a practical application, you know, of your actual product, is there, how did you find the organizations, maybe your sponsors? So what were the routes that you actually took to find how to market your product or be at that customer level? As in, sorry, at the market level?
I don't understand your question.
So basically, if you were to kind of market your product, you know, so what kind of channels, how did you find those channels? How did you find, say, for instance, you've used Melissa's branding company to brand yourself and, you know, do your PR. How did you find those answers? How did you find or connect with those companies or your sponsors or your investors? What was the thing that you did to research about that?
She went knocking doors. I can.
Yeah, you know, this is something I think for all of us, because ultimately this is where we want to be in terms of either our project or a service. You know, we are looking through a channel. We are looking for some sort of marketing kind of mechanism that we can promote our products to, and for that you need a godfather or somebody to help you.
Oh no, I've been just kicking everyone's ass every day. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So you've just gone ahead and done it. I'll find my answers. And
but first you need to make sure this is what you want. And once you are convinced and you convince yourself that this is what you want, then you can start knocking doors, because no one will kick you out from there. So you have to make sure this is what you want. And then
so find people, they trust and knock the door.
And you know, the most powerful tool that for first time in my life, I listened and it really worked. And actually was one of the reasons I find out Meli, after so many years after we did school together, was my gut. Was just listening to my gut, which is crazy. And you can ask me like, how you made it to go to these investors? How do you made it to go this? How do you made it with this? And I've been like just listening to my gut, like whatever I had here inside. And even when I remember the day I texted Meli, I was sleeping and I woke up because I dreamed with her. And I dreamed with her and I took the phone. I found her on LinkedIn because I didn't have her phone contact. I texted her and I was like, Meli, I had a dream with you and I know and I feel that you are what I need. And
no other clients dream with me, only Sana.
Okay.
Thanks God.
Okay. But yeah, you have to listen to your gut and make sure that this is what you want, and then non-stop knocking doors. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much,
Sana.
I wish you
it was amazing.
much success.
Sana, before you
Sana.
leave, we want to, we are very grateful for your time, for sharing. I can't believe I will say this. I really want to try your can wine. Can we find it in Switzerland?
You know what? The only client we were planning to have was Cup, and they only want the rosé wine. So we need to can it next month. And but they don't want the white and the red. I don't know why they say that Switzerland they only consume rosés.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, we will try to support you on that one. In the meantime, we will have to travel, I guess, to Barcelona to try your wine.
No, you can take you can order from our website.
Online.
You
can order online.
Yeah.
And you will get it home.
Thank you so much.
We can ship it to you. Yes.
No,
thank you.
It was a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, we are
thank you guys
to have you.
Thank
Gracias,
you.
Sana.
Enjoy. No, gracias a ti.
Bye.
Ciao.
Okay, I'm gonna try to take all that emotion and keep going with it. I'm gonna do my best. But I think many of the things I'm gonna tell you now, the theory, are now applied in reality with the story from Sana. That's why I think it was an important guest for today, because theory is very good, but when you see it in someone's body, is even better, right? So let's keep going now and try to help you guys tell your story, okay? And we're gonna start with your story. So we're gonna start with a short game. You all need to have a pen and paper in sessions with me because as I said, you're gonna work hard today. So I'm gonna ask you, each of you, to write at least 5 things from your past, 5 from your present, and 5 from your future. Examples of the past: I was born in, I studied, I lived, my parents, my family, my childhood. Examples from the present: today I'm here, I'm finally doing what I want, my life looks like this. Examples of the future: my dream is to, or in 5 years from now. So I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to write down 3 minutes, 5 things of each. For the ones that finished, I can tell you the next step. The other ones you can keep going. From these 5, when you have them down, you need to choose 3 for each column. Anyone is ready? Someone is ready? If not, I give you 2 more minutes. Okay, someone needs to be ready. Who is ready? Iris, or
Juan,
Iris?
Juan is ready.
You are muted.
Somehow I need to change. I have to change my name every time.
It says Iris. You're Yuan?
Yeah.
Yuan?
Yeah.
Yuan,
I mean,
hi.
that was also my English name, but in Switzerland, I just used my Chinese name now. So is it just picking one from each
3
category?
So
3.
now what I want you to do now is to read one after the others, the 3 things from your past, 3 things from your present, and 3 things from your future.
Okay. Actually wrote less than that, but so I was born in China and I lived in the UK and Switzerland. Ever since I was a child, I just really like plants, growing plants. I studied biology because that. I studied plant science for my master's degree because that. And I also worked for different startups, but I always feel like it was just working towards other people's dream. So the present right now, I'm finally working on my own dream, which is a business, something to do with plants. And I mean, my job today is part-time working in marketing, but also partly majority time focusing on this project. And my dream is to see through my business that more people can get the joy of growing plants like me. So that's it. I think there's only one.
Beautiful. So I want to know, someone wants to, before I tell you something, but what did you feel, guys? Like it took her like, I don't know, 20 seconds? Did you learn something new about Yuan? Someone? Hello?
I learned what I learned. Thank you. What I learned new from Yuan is that she was working before for other startups, and finally, yeah, she decided to do her own startup. That was new about her story.
Okay. Yeah, but I want, now we're gonna do another person, but she took more or less 20 seconds. She didn't talk about her business idea at no point. You saw, right? Yeah, I don't know if you noticed. I don't know what she's doing at all, and I don't care. These 20 seconds, she got me. I connected with her. I imagined her through her story. It took her 20 seconds. And now she's in the right position to talk to me about the brand idea. Now, after these first 20 seconds. Before, if she would have done that before, I'm not emotionally connected to her. I don't care. But now that she drove me through these 3 events, because actually she didn't even go for 3 in each because she did less, it was enough for me to connect with her emotionally. And for her, it was very easy because she was just telling her story. You didn't have to overdo it, right? It's just very simple. You're just telling who you are. Okay. So someone else wants to try? Thank you, Van. Someone?
I want to try.
Go ahead.
Okay. I had dreams to find successful for my career, and I thought that it was coming from others. This is the past. I choose one of every column, right?
You can do 3 on every, if you want, 3 things, if you want.
Okay, so I was born in Bogota, Colombia. I studied communication, and for many years I thought that the successful came from a successful career, professional career. Then I jumped to an empty place, and this place was I shared this with love. And I found this, it was magic, but the successful was not completely, it was not like I was thinking. It was not, it was absolutely in the opposite side. It was not successful outside. It was the successful is coming from inside, from myself. So it's my job today is working every day to find this successful inside of my mind. And my future or my idea is to share and inspire more people than the successful is not coming outside. The successful life is coming from your heart. This is why I'm doing it. And this is the line.
Cool. Thank you very much. Someone wants to say something before I do? Okay. I don't believe you. I'm a very honest person. You will learn out through the session. And I don't believe you because you are thinking too much. You're overthinking your story. You are telling your story as a business person. You're not telling me your story from your heart as a friend.
Maybe
so I
for
don't
the
believe you.
language.
Maybe for the language. That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. Maybe
Yeah.
for the language.
If I
But
tell you the story in Spanish sounds absolutely different. Yeah, this is true.
Can you go, please? I'm the other ones. Do you mind if she takes 1 minute to say it in
Sorry,
Spanish?
2 minutes in Spanish.
Well, go ahead.
Bueno, nací en Bogotá, Colombia. Estudié comunicación y me forcé a mí misma a trabajar muy duro, a ser muy fuerte por ser la única mujer de mi casa y demostrar que podía hacerlo. Así que trabajé mucho, muy, muy duro y luego me encontré que ese trabajo duro y ese esfuerzo no valía mucho la pena porque no estaba logrando mucho. Encontré el amor y di un salto al vacío sin saber qué me iba a encontrar, solamente que yo sabía lo que no quería más. Di el salto al vacío, vine a Suiza y en ese salto al vacío y con amor encontré que hay una pasión dentro de mí, que es la escritura, que es encontrar magia en los pequeños detalles, es estar consciente del día, es estar consciente de los detalles y es agradecer también. Y es no estar pendiente de la vida de los otros ni de la mía, sino de los otros y que los otros estén pendientes de la mía, sino de la mía, de mi misma vida. Ya.
Okay, much better. I think much better. I just think, like in general, you need to combine how you feel with anecdotes, okay, which links to the next slide, and I will let you talk, Luisa, now. I saw your hand. Luisa has a hand, but which links to the next slide, which we're not going to do because we don't have a lot of time, which is try to mix how you feel with anecdotes, which is event, like my parents did that and this, and it made me feel that way. And as a result, this is what happened, okay? In that way, you're mixing, you're helping the listener to imagine your story. If you only share feelings, I don't know what to imagine. I don't have an anecdote. I don't put you in a house with a certain type of parents. When you notice what Sana was talking, she was constantly mixing anecdotes with feelings. This is very important, and the result that it goes to her person, right? And
Nice.
this is the way for you to feel the story, but also being able to imagine the story. Okay, so always try to mix events with feelings. So, sorry, Luisa, she raised a hand before. You're still here?
No, sorry. I just wanted to try as well.
Go ahead, please.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. So yeah, I'm Luisa. I was born in Colombia. I was very outgoing always since I was young. Later, I became very passionate about political science, and due to that, I ended up traveling and living in very different parts of the world. And I was always very, like open-minded and ready to fight for things until I came to Switzerland, where I feel stuck. I feel trapped in a very conservative notion of what women are supposed to do and be. And I feel very undervalued for who I am. And these feelings I know are not only mine. And I just want to help other women who are feeling the same in this country or in other countries where they live as migrants, and also help myself.
Cool. It's good, but you jumped too quick to your business. Again, who are you, Luisa? Who are your parents? Why do you feel stuck? Tell me a story where you felt stuck. Make me cry. You guys are shaped to talk about your business too quick. And here, the story is you. I don't care about what you do. I care about who you are. So when you say, I feel stuck, I came to China, I feel stuck. Why? What happened, right? So event, I felt this happened. I was trying this and this happened to me. And as a consequence, I felt stuck. I felt sad. I felt angry. And this is what I did, you know? An event, a feeling, a result. You have to tell your story, like independently of your business. Who are you? the beginning is about who are you. Now we're going to see about how then we talk about your business. I know at the end it's business, right? But now we're who are you? And you need to help me imagine yourself as a child, right? So you need to give me context. You need to go deep. You need to tell me secrets that no one knows. This is the only way to break the silence. Don't tell me the story that everyone knows. Does that make sense? So, okay, Valentina wants to try, like we have a long session, so I don't know.
No worries, it's really quick. It's a quick question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the things we've learned so much at Capacity is that when we tell our stories from a place of, oh, this is my title, or this is where I was born, that are kind of facts that kind of cut through the like deepness of something more open as a story. And I wonder what, in your experience, whether that can be reframed as a question, or the questions we ask people to share their stories. And if that questions like that are very specific can kind of curtail the authenticity of someone's story. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I just would love to hear from you. As you go through the session, you don't have to answer
I think there is a part of the session that may answer this, because I'm going to make an exercise, which is your story as a statement, which is trying to, with 2 or 3 very short sentences, which is the profile of LinkedIn that you sometimes see, how to put there your X factor that I call. So I think this may answer your question, Valentina. Should I keep going? Because the session, I'm afraid we won't have time. So Rita, Pamela, and yeah, it's okay.
Go ahead, then we can do Q&A.
Try to go back.
We can put all your questions together and we'll send them to you.
Okay, cool. Let's go continue. So one of the things that we're already talking about is what are the elements of a good story and how to link it to your brand, okay? So the story is gonna be, as founders, you should know that the story is gonna be out there anyway. If you imagine yourself being a successful founder, your story is gonna be there. The difference is if you wanna control or not your story. So there is no more question with all the beginning that I showed you about the focus on founder, the authenticity. You're gonna look for who you are, where do you come from, pictures on social media. This is gonna happen anyway. So there is no possibility to hide the story anymore. So you have to control the story. So when you think about what role your story plays in the brand, you need to think of the experiences you had in the past, support where you are today, you know, which is kind of what we were doing. Like, okay, this is all the things that happened in my life, which is what Sana did naturally, right? She told us all the things that happened in her life that placed her to today's session, you know? So this is the exercise that helps the people understand the link between your past and why are you here today, okay? So this is the theory of a good storyline, okay? This is what theoretically we are supposed to do, which is an exposition. But exposition is help me visualize the story, which I told you, right? So I was like this, my house was like that, and my parents were like that. You need to help the listener imagine you. If you give me 0 information about the exposition, there is no way I can imagine your story. Then normally there is a tension point, a conflict, right? Something that happens in your life that is like a movie. This is basically like a movie, right? So there is a conflict. The action is raising. Like if we go back to the story of Sana, right? She tells a moment of raising action, right? When the family is put in custody and she explains all this. You hear me? Sorry, because my phone is, yeah, okay. And this creates a climax that creates a rebirth. And this is where your brand comes in, at that rebirth moment. Actually, you're not even introducing your brand. You're introducing kind of the thing that led you to your brand, okay? Which is like, based on all this exposition, conflicts, action, and climax, this is what happened to me, and this is where my idea comes in, okay? So that's at the very end of your personal story, actually. All the beginning is just about you and all this set of experiences that places you where you are today, yeah? So just quick things to remember before we keep going. The story has to be meaningful, personal, emotional, simple, and authentic. I mean, this is all the things we have been viewing, and some of you already said that. You need to try for people to cry like you guys almost cried with Sana, like I did with Sana the first time I met her, okay? But it's not about faking it, or it's just about really opening yourself to mixing your anecdotes and experiences with how these things made you feel, and as a consequence, how it led you where you are today, okay? So let's go to the who. So this is, all of this was about the story, okay? We're gonna talk about the personality, because a story without a personality, it's story, it's very hard, right? You are talking and people are trying to read through you. So we're gonna do a game, because one of the big challenges for entrepreneurs is that they see themselves totally different from what people see from them. They normally see like, no, but I'm not that interesting, or no, I'm not that funny, and then other people perceive them as super funny. And this is common when being an entrepreneur and a founder, especially for the first time. So we're gonna do a game. I need a volunteer, someone that wanted to talk before but didn't talk, maybe. Pamela, I think, and Sarita, you wanted to talk. So Pamela, okay. So Pamela, you're gonna choose in silence in your head one symbol that you think represents you. And everyone else is gonna choose a symbol for Pamela that thinks represents Pamela, okay?
So,
So Pamela, you're at the end.
okay.
You don't talk. At the moment, you are in silence. You are listening to the perception that people has from you, okay? So who wants to say what symbol they chose for Pamela? Who wants to go first? And why? You need to explain why.
I want to say that I choose the cow because she always says that when she's leaving, she enjoys a lot the cows and she has around.
Okay, you have to say something about her personality.
And she enjoys the environment. This is part of the...
She's happy, you mean?
Yeah,
or
yeah, she's
okay.
happy
Okay.
when the environment.
Cool. Okay, Anna?
So I choose, I don't know how to call it, on the bicycle on the first line, the last one. So she moved in a new country, but she doesn't forget her origin and want to connect her country. And so in Switzerland, to do her business is connected with her country and to help people. So she is here, but she bring her country with her, and she is like very I forgot the name, patriotic person.
Patriotic. Okay. So we said happy and patriotic at the moment. Go ahead.
Should I go?
Yeah.
Okay. I would choose the person that's trying to lift, that's squatting up to lift the weight. Because I think her idea with trying to, her business idea is really, really a difficult thing to do, but I think she's trying her best to do that.
What does it say about her personality?
Because, I mean, it feels like she can do it, and she's halfway through it. So her personality, I would say, is like someone who can endure it.
Okay, someone who can endure it. Good. Now, someone be brave and say, choose a symbol, but that you think will not show the best part of Pamela's personality. Be brave. That's an open. We need to be honest. I don't know her, so you can say whatever it will be. Then she will have. Someone wants to say something?
Unfortunately, we haven't had a chance to actually meet each other in that sort of a way.
That's even better, because the way that she met you through Zoom call, and it's probably the way that
but they've
most people
always
will
been
have.
so nice.
First impression. Nothing? This is to help her, actually. Anissa, go ahead. Anissa?
Yes. Camera. We had a discussion this morning and she mentioned that she's learning how to make a video and getting familiar with connecting to the eventual customer. So maybe camera is a point that she's focusing more to learn about doing video.
But what does it say about her personality that maybe not that?
We're putting herself outside.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so now Pamela, what do you think about how people see you?
Wow, it's wonderful. It's really, really wonderful. It's a good exercise to do it because, yeah, I can see what with this not so connected, let's say, in personal life. We are trying, but we are not so connected, but we see each other. So this is the image I represent to them. So it's super nice. It's amazing.
Does it represent you? Is it what you want people to see from you?
Most of them, yes. I'm strong, so yes, most of the time I'm super straight, and yeah. I think yes, what they said is likely, yeah, connected.
And
Yeah.
what did you choose?
I choose a kangaroo. Because
Okay.
now I feel like a bull. I'm pregnant, and I'm changing everything. I will have 2 babies this year. I will have my
Wow.
baby and my business. So are my 2 babies. So I'm jumping from Latin America to Switzerland. I always were jumping. Now I'm staying here with my family, and I don't want to forget my roots, let's say.
Cool, thank you. Someone else wants to do, so Pamela is happy with the perception people get from her. That's an exercise to see if there is a gap between who you really are and what people from you. Sometimes people that are really, really, really shy are the best ones for this exercise. So anyone really, really, really shy wants to go for it, I recommend it. I mean, you can do it later without me, but
I'm not shy, but I wonder how people, so my friends' perception about me.
okay, so let's go.
Yeah.
So Anna, you choose a symbol in your head, and then the other ones you choose a symbol for Anna. It can be things you didn't come across very positive. It doesn't have to be only good things. Okay, someone that didn't talk. Okay, people that are gonna talk are gonna be Cesar. Who is this person? 1 second, sorry, I don't see all the names. So I'm trying. Cesar, Hadi, Subia, Hadi. Yeah. So you guys go ahead and say something about Anna.
Yes. Well, I picked up the, oh, sorry, may I start?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yes, on the second last row, the puzzle piece. There is a puzzle piece, and I believe sometimes Anna speaks with a bit of insecurity, and she should be more secure of herself because she has an amazing personality. She knows what she wants to do. She has a very good business idea and product, but I have the impression, but this is a personal impression, she's a bit insecure. And I symbolize this insecurity on that puzzle. I think she needs that piece to feel the puzzle, to have more confidence, to feel more secure.
Nice.
Because when I speak with her, I find it amazing, the product she wants to introduce. But she speaks with a bit of insecurity. But I say it constructively, okay? Don't take it negative. It's just a
that's the
constructive
idea.
opinion.
Very good. Thank you, Cesar. Very great. That was great. Okay.
Yeah, for me, I think, and I choose this icon beside the puzzle icon, the speech icon. Anna show me ein sample from her video cartoons, and I think she's very good in putting ideas in animated form. So this how to bring things from written to animated, I think she's good about it.
What did it say about her personality?
Now, to bring things from written to animated, this need too much creativity. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it is not easy to reflect what's written on animated font.
Okay.
She's very charismatic.
Yeah. Also, maybe she's charismatic.
So go ahead, Anna. What do you think of what they said and what did you choose?
Thank you very much for the opinion. And really, so first, Cesar's opinion, I agree with him because I will be honest, most of all, I feel that I'm not maybe too much sure in my entrepreneurial skills, and this is sure obvious. And I'm working on it because I have idea, but still it's not about idea, it's about my entrepreneurial skills. That's I don't feel me too much secured, as Cesar noticed. And also thank you, Hadi, for your opinion. Yes, so that's true. And the icon for me I choose, it's the 6th one on the first row. So it's the camera because I'm trying to highlight and to illustrate people's entrepreneurs and their ideas and services. This is my my mission and my idea. Yes, so that's it.
What does it say? I want an icon that represents your personality.
The camera, the 6th one.
Your personality, but what does it say about your personality?
About my personality, that I can reflect others' idea in a nice way. So maybe I'm creative and I can really present it in a nice way and to make it more valuable and more targeted and engaging.
Good.
So it's,
okay. So this is an exercise about self-awareness, okay, as you saw. So what's the difference between what people perceive and who we are? So I'm gonna give you a couple of tips that are important to control your self-perception, okay? So first, you have to do it now, but you need to ask yourself 4 things you wish every person you were meeting for the first time, either in business or personally, knew about you. You write them down. Then we're going to use them for something else, okay? But you need to think of at least 4 things. Oh, I hope people would know like very fast that I'm a working mom, that I succeeded and in 2 startups, that I'm from all these countries and this and that, okay? So what are the things you want everyone to know about you in a first meeting, okay? Something important is you don't change your personality. And this sounds like, of course, this is also a mistake that many founders try to do. Oh, I'm a founder and I need to present to these people, so I'm going to look like more serious. No, you don't look more serious. You're serious or you're not serious. Are you a funny person? You are not a funny person. This is who you are. So you take who you are and you adapt everything else to your personality. You don't try to change you. And this is critical because I find myself many times with entrepreneurs, oh, I have to be in Instagram because it's cool. Yeah, but if you are not in Instagram and you are not a cool person, don't go to Instagram. Like me, I'm very bad in Instagram. And I didn't try too hard because it's not who I am, okay? So don't try to change who you are. You take who you are, you own it, you write it down, you formalize who you are, and you build the things around your personality. That's very important. So this is an exercise that I'm going to jump because you can also do it without me. We will go back if we have time, okay? Which is a model that helps understand better yourself and what are the topics you can leverage to the external world, okay? So the model is called My Personal and Professional Me, and you have 4 areas that you have to work on. First one is a list of achievements, okay? I wrote here an example of myself. So one of my achievements was being accepted to an MBA. I was the youngest and first women partner in a company. I'm a founder and CEO while raising 2 kids, and I founded 2 successful startups. That's achievements. You list the achievements in your life. You think you don't have, you have, especially women raising kids and working is already an achievement, okay? So that's an example. Anything, winning a marathon when you were 16, it's an achievement, okay? Moving countries by yourself, achievement, okay? Interest, being accepted in capacity, achievement, okay? Interest, number 2, what are your interests you have in general? I like culture, innovation, design, painting, whatever. 3, personal life, things about your personal life that matter to you. Proud to be Jewish in a modern life, Moroccan, Argentinian, and friends, in love with my 2 kids and husband, and proud of my brother. That's things that are personal to me. And 4, I'm passionate about branding, purpose, and design, bouldering, climbing, and camping, and marketing management. What I will do all the time that I post things about myself, what I do is to try to balance these 4 areas of my personal and professional me. So when you saw my post, I was being a working mom, I was touching in 2 topics, my personal life here, right? I was talking about my achievement of founder and raising 2 kids at the same time. Yeah. So I was taking some of these topics and mixing them together. So this will be kind of your base to see what are the things I can leverage on and talk about when I talk about myself. Okay. And it can help sometimes, because sometimes we think we don't have a lot of interesting things, but if you do that, you will find yourself that you have quite a lot to say. Okay. So this is just for you, because normally we send the presentation. So I did it empty, so you can print it and write here next to the bubbles. Okay. So how can we make sure that people are perceiving what you expect? And the answer is very simple. There is no magic. Asking. Okay. So the exercise we did about the icons, it's real in real life. So when you start a business, you start by family and friends, right? But sometimes we present, but we don't ask people, hey, what did you perceive? What was your first impression of me? This exercise that we did, you guys didn't do it among yourselves. You didn't ask others, hey, when you met me for the first time, what did you perceive about me? So this is very important. When you start presenting your idea and pitching to family and friends, don't only ask about the business, again, because this is a mistake. What do you think about me? Oh, I think you are shy. I think you're insecure. Oh, you are a very passionate person. And then you can see if people are perceiving what you want them to perceive. So ask also about your personality. Don't ask only about your business. What do you think about me and my story? What's the things and the feelings you perceive when I'm presenting? Okay. So your image, and this is all linked together. Okay. So if we have time, we will go back to the model, but I keep moving, so I make sure we can finish. So your image. So your story is as interesting as you choose to make it, right? First impressions, the magic of first impressions, so important. Even in the Zoom time, I see people commenting on backgrounds in calls constantly. Oh, what is it, this thing you have there? And the thing you have there, it's part of my first impression, okay? So more or less, it takes people 7 seconds after they meet you to have a solid impression of you, 7 seconds, okay? And then to change that impression, it's pretty hard. It's hard work, okay? As you can see in the image here of these young kids that I put in here, this is a pretty solid first impression. And if now the kid will come and tell me that he's a banker, I will have probably a hard time to believe it.
We cannot hear you, Meli.
Do you hear me now? Yeah?
Yes, we do now.
Okay, sorry, I had to change my headphones. I ran out of battery in these ones. Just give me a sec. I have to, because this happens quite a lot. Okay, so we have 7 seconds to change first impressions. And sorry, now nothing is working. Okay, now play. Let's go back. Yeah, so even famous characters that we all know, they represent themselves in extremely different ways. These are 2 examples of strong women that choose very carefully the image they project from themselves. And I think we all agree on that, right? And how the way they look is actually an extension of their personality. If you think of this model where I told you, don't change who you are, change everything else, they both took who they are and they changed their image to fit the real personality. Angela Merkel is not trying to be Michelle Obama and the other way around, right? So they own who they are and they express it in the way they look. So let's do a small game. Pictures of profiles. Okay, these are different pictures of profile on LinkedIn. What do you think these people is doing in their professional life? Someone, a guess? In any of them?
I think B
Yeah.
is a manager and C is student. F photographer. And A maybe secretary.
Anyone else?
I would go A as a comedian, B a bank or something like that, C in IT departments, so is E. F, I would say an artist. Whatever. D, I have no clue.
You want to see the result or no? Okay, let's see. Up. So some of you were right in most of the areas where they work. And here goes the power of first impressions. It's a picture, a profile picture. And you already had an impression of who they are, what they do. If I would tell you that the one here in the middle, the senior executive, is a designer, your brain would just like explode. This doesn't make any sense, okay? So first impressions are extremely important. So we're gonna see now what does it mean, okay? So when it comes to personal stories, and this is a question I get asked a lot, oh, do I need a logo for personal branding? And I'm like, what do you mean a logo for personal branding? You are the logo. There is no logo of personal branding. So founders put also a lot of efforts in, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this beautiful logo for my company and this beautiful, and I'm there because it's part of what we do, right? But then they don't put a lot of effort themselves in branding themselves, the way they talk, the way they dress. So when it comes to personal stories and personal brand, the way you're dressing and the way you're talking is your logo. So the same effort you're gonna put in designing a logo for your business, you need to put it in choosing your outfit right. And when I say right, I don't mean, again, fake it. If you're not a person that will wear a suit, don't wear a suit, right? But if you're a person that wants to come across as a very creative person, be creative in the way you dress, because this is what people will remember, okay? Create a consistency between my first impression and what you told me, yeah? So how you talk, okay? So not only about the way you dress, but the way you talk, it's also very important. And here we do another game. So these are tweets from people. And this is two different ways to say the same. It's the same thing, just written in totally different ways. So you need to guess who said it and in which way. Who didn't talk? Let's see. My mouse is not working, so a ver. Wait, sorry, I gave the answer. Sorry. So this one I'm going to say it because I gave the answer. I don't know, I have a problem with my mouse. So the answer is Bill Gates. But look at the way he wrote it. I hate mosquitoes. The disease they spread kill more than 500,000 people every year. In fact, mosquitoes kill more people in one day than sharks kill in 100 years. A lot of data, right? Data, because Bill Gates is about data. Another tweet could have been, mosquitoes are killing so many people every year, they are more dangerous than sharks. That's it. The way he writes and the way he says the information to come across is already saying something about himself. He's saying he's a person that when he says something, he backs it up with data. He's just not saying something that comes out like without caring about the words. So the way you communicate is really important. Another example, another game you can think I don't know if someone wants to try. Even if you don't know the people, because it says the positions below, you can try to guess. Anyone? You want to try? Hadi, you want to try? You're laughing.
Did
No
Tom
idea.
Hanks say with
I don't know.
yeah, sorry.
Sorry, Medhana. Actually, I don't know exactly the people, but since this Indra Nayo, an executive CEO, I think this quote belongs to her.
Which one?
The first one, Indra.
Yeah, but which of the two quotes?
It is so hard to tell what's true anymore. I am reading a great book to try and work out how to interpret facts.
Kidan disagree. No? He's saying no.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost. But look at how with the position and the topic she was talking about, you were able to link it to her, right? And then the way she said it, some of you guessed it was this other one, because she is known for being a very intellectual and sophisticated person in the way she talks. The way she talks is very unique from her. The last one, it's easy, I think, for everyone. It's just also a joke. So these are the three people who can be talking about global warming. So there are two ways to say that, like, New York was so cold today, but this is natural and normal. We've seen fluctuations in global temperatures throughout history, and now it's no different. That would be a normal person. It's freezing and snowing in New York. We need global warming. And this, of course, is Trump, right? So all of this to say the importance in the way you say things, right? And how this helps create, again, an image of who you are. So the way your story matters, but the way you dress, which is first impression, and the way you write and talk is important as the story you're saying. Okay. So now if we go back to what I asked you before, these 4 things maximum, it can be less. You want every person to know when they meet you, you wish they would know. Now try to translate them. If I want them to know that I'm a working mom, how should I dress? If I want them to know that I'm a very international person, how should I talk? Should I hide my accent or leave it there? What should I start with? So try to transform these things you want people to know into things and decisions you can take in your outfit, in the way you talk, in the way you behave, that can help people see that in a few seconds. Okay, who didn't talk much? So Luisa and Anissa, please. Luisa first and then Anissa.
I answered to the 3 questions.
So what do you want people to, you wish every person you meet for the first time will know or will feel about you, and what decisions you can make about how you dress, talk, and what you say?
And how I start by.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I like to dress like I always try to keep myself in the way I dress. So the first impression is to show
how can I say it? I like to feel comfortable in the clothes I'm wearing. So that is my criteria to choose what I wear. And from that comfort and like self-confidence, I like to be seen in that way. But it depends, like if it's a more formal encounter or if it's more relaxed, I would choose something according to the situation with the criteria that I have to feel comfortable in that skin. How I would talk, I have to be very careful with my, I'm very aware, self-aware of how I speak, because I know I can be very straightforward and very like clear with my ideas, but sometimes it can also be too direct. So I also, like, I'm very aware of how I talk. So it depends on also on where I am. Like if maybe it's better to listen first and then to talk.
1 second, because you're adapting yourself to the others. What are the three
Yes,
things
because I've
you
learned
want?
that is important too. Like I am myself, but I like to listen to the others. I don't like to impose myself in the way I am. I just like
1
to
second, go back and tell me which are the 3 things you want people to know about you.
Sorry?
Or 4. What are the 3 or 4 things you want everyone to know about you?
Yeah, I would like them to know that I am a woman who has strong opinions, that I am open to learn, and that I'm very like willingly open to get to know and get to understand other people and other ways of thinking.
How can you make them understand that from a very beginning?
In a dialogic way. I like to listen. Like I like to talk in a way that is always a conversation. So I'm listening to what people are saying too.
So maybe starting by a question.
I like to start with questions. That is something I do very often. And I carefully choose my words so that things are straightforward. But I also like, I try to be polite, and I like to talk politely when I introduce myself for the first time.
And how can you show them you said strong women, I think was the wording.
Yeah, like I like to present my opinions in a clear way.
How in the way you wear you can think you can come across as a strong woman?
The way
you dress, sorry.
The way I dress. Yeah, I would say that I like to pick something very feminine, but with which I feel comfortable as well.
Okay. Cool. Thanks. We said Anissa, no? So start with some of the things you want people to know. You wish everyone would know, and how can you shape the way you dress and talk to that first impression?
Maybe the first things that I would like that they notice my past story. So I'm here now today. I'm staying here because what's happened in the past, and they can see and they could see that we all can be here in this moment because what we have passed, kind of honoring my past, so they can see that I'm honoring my past, and thanks to the past I'm here, like a lotus flower, let's say. And the other things that I think even the word would or trying is not correct, is the things that we are. So I would not try, or I would not dress or talk, but I'm dressing or I'm talking according to what comes from my heart and from my intuition. So whatever that comes to that day, that's fine. And if I'm feeling well under that dress and under my skin, whatever dress I'm putting on, that will be, I think, to their eyes, something nice, I think. And I would like to show that I'm heart-centered. So I would like that they see it kind of as they can be as well. They can follow their intuition. They can use their past, and whatever happened in their past, they can change it. They can transform it. So I would like, I'm just using, I would like, I like that they use that and they see that. So
And how can we see that?
They can see that by hearing my story. So the exercise that we have, for example, done at the beginning, when I see someone and I introduce myself, I say my story, so they can see the resilience and they can see that I have went through the difficulties and I haven't been the same person that I'm today. And we have that possibility to change, to seek for the better life. So it's not saying that that's true, that sometimes we have our judgment that in that seven first seconds, but it's not always right. And I try as well to do not judge in that moment. I try to listen to people, and I want to bring that message as well to other people, to observe, to give some time. So it's a combination of everything. I think how you talk, how to connect to people, how listen, as Louise told, and how we tell our story.
Good. Thanks.
Does it make sense?
Yes. Yeah, it does. Starting by the story is definitely the best way for people to know who you are from the beginning. So let's move on because we don't have much time. So again, how can we control perceptions? Plan and prepare even for the spontaneous. So some people think, believe in, no, I will let things happen in the moment. No. As entrepreneurs that go to pitch in, things don't happen in the moment. You rehearsal them. Even the most personal ones and the most spontaneous one, you have to do that. Okay. And this is an exercise that I did actually with Sana. Okay. Her story, she didn't come across like that the first time. She had to go through it, feel it, link it to today, how she was feeling about it. It doesn't mean she's faking it, right? Just don't think I'm asking you to fake it. I'm asking you to prepare for this moment. Okay. So don't think that you're going to get inspired that day and the story and everything is going to come to you. These things don't happen. It's very rare. Most of the time, you just need to rehearsal them 1,000 times and think about them before, and think about what you're going to dress, and think about what you're going to say and how you're going to say it and how you're going to start. And what happens if they ask you this about your past? Are you ready for that answer? What I'm going to say, you need to prepare for the spontaneous. And this is a mistake I also see sometimes in founders. They think they just go there and get inspired. Doesn't work like that. Especially when you pitch in front of investors, if you do at some point. You have to let the moment feel natural, right? But actually, you prepared for it. Even for this naturality, you are prepared. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, so the channels, I'm moving on. So where should I tell my story? That's a question I get a lot too. And this is a list of all the places where you can tell the story, okay? Like social media videos and posts, the website, even I saw now many people doing it in packaging inserts. So you get a packaging, and in the package itself, there is a handwritten message from the founder, especially in beauty is very common now, or your story. This is a nice touch, which is now happening a lot in the beauty industry. Email communications, interviews and press materials, blogs, audio podcasts, and videos. So this is a Next Capacity member. I don't know if some of you know her or not. You do? Okay, so some of you know her. So Sarah. So yeah, so Sarah, she's a great, I think she's a great example of personal story in her brand. She has 10,800 followers in Art Temperature, which is a company that is trying to lift and local artists through fashion. Okay, so she takes unknown artists and prints their art into fashion items. Okay, but she's passionate about art. She's herself a very interesting person, and her personal story is totally mixed into her business constantly. So here, for example, on the right post, you see this piece of art and her with a sense of humor imitating this piece of art, okay? And the content of this post is actually an interview, okay? Sarah, our founder, has been interviewed by blah, blah, blah Thanks for the interview. Here is the Q&A. Can you, and the questions and answers. So she actually posts in Instagram the full interview with a parallelism between her and a piece of art, okay? She even makes fun of her interview. Or here, this is part of her blog, for example, okay? She says, stepping out of your comfort zone with the boost of art. This is a story of self-worth and self-confidence. This is a story about me as much as it's about you. I'm 42 years old, and after my pregnancy, I gained 5 kilos that are still there. Even if I use daily social media for personal or professional reasons, and I never shared photos of myself. I'm not extremely shy, I just don't like showing myself so much. Every time that I see a picture of me, I think, oh God, look at that belly. And the list is endless. But now, looking at these pictures, I don't see my kilos anymore. I see my joy, my self-mockery, and my creativity, okay? And this is in her website, and this is her posing with her products, okay? So this is a very interesting way. Sarah is a very interesting case of how her brand and her personal brand are totally mixed together. She's the model of her own products, and she does it from a humoristic point of view. She finds a way to laugh at herself with confidence, and she connects with the people. I mean, 10,800 followers, it's quite a lot, okay? And this is not the only page she managed, and she's actually starting to be pretty successful. So I just wanted to bring this example here because Sarah is part of the capacity program. I don't know if Anna or Julieta want to say something about Sarah, but I think she's a great example of how she's using different elements in social media about her products to actually leverage on her own personality, okay? You can go and check. So the different channels that exist are these ones. I wrote here this lifestyle, cool, expert, authentic, conversational, smart, professional, and a little bit of personal, because actually being or not in a social media channel already positions us as something. And as I mentioned before, one of the mistakes maybe people do is I'm going to be in everything, okay? And then it's very hard. What you need to do is to say, well, what's more important for me? To be perceived as the cool person that is in the last trends and that knows how to use TikTok? Don't ask me because this is not me, okay? Or I'm more a LinkedIn person, which is more me, where yes, I say a little bit about my personal life, like the post of my son, but I like to use social media to leverage also my personal and professional connection. So try to use the channels that you can control. And this links to that. Don't let social media control you. Again, a mistake I see a lot. I'm going to do something cool and a video in TikTok because it's trendy. Yeah, but if you are not trendy and you're not cool and you're not a TikTok person, it's going to be a big failure. Okay, so you need to choose the social media channels that you can control, that you can understand better, and that reflects better who you are. Of course, if at some point your company is very successful and things are going great, you will have community managers managing other of their channels. But at the beginning, you don't have to be everywhere. You have to be in the social media channels that you can control the message and that you know best and represent you the best. Okay. So just a little bit about LinkedIn, because it's an important touch point in the professional arena. And I get also very often some questions about LinkedIn. This is just the steps that you need to make sure you take. They're very basic, but some people don't have them all. So I reinforce them. Of course, a professional profile picture, the headline that we're going to talk, this statement, very important. Sorry, add a background picture, make sure the contact info is updated, make sure your profile is public, share articles, videos, and interesting content. You can create a company profile and link the personal to the company profile. Okay, this is the basic steps you need to take. Now, as I said at the beginning, I would like to do this exercise for the statement of LinkedIn, because this is a pain point for everyone. How do I write down who I am in a very simple way, okay? And I like to do this exercise, which is value, X factor, and proof, okay? And this is an example, and now you're gonna do it. So value I bring. I help, this is not me, someone else, just an example. I help fast-growing startups in New York find flexible office space that fit their culture and budget. I help them throughout the entire journey from coworking to expansion. X factor. I love New York. I'm a die-hard Yankees fan, New York's marathon veteran, and host quarterly dinners for New York founders. Proof, here are 3 testimonials, white papers on getting your first office, and mostly both of us. So please take now 2 minutes to try to write value. I help or I do. This is what I do. Okay. X factor. Who are you? What is the X factor that is going to catch my attention? And the proof. Who was the person that asked me first about that? Sorry, I don't remember the name. Someone asked me at the very beginning, how do we shorten it as a statement? Who was it? Is she here still?
The statement, I think it was me. So.
No,
No.
sorry. It was someone at the beginning asked me, they ask us sometimes at Capacity to put our position and how do we
It was
capture?
Valentina. Yeah.
Valentina, okay.
She's a capacity member. She's a team. The team. I don't know.
She's not here.
Here.
She's not here.
I think-
Okay.
I'm here. I'm here.
You're here. Hi, Valentina.
Hi.
Okay. So you are a capacity member.
Yeah, correct.
So you cannot do the game, or you want to do the game even as a capacity member.
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer that someone else does it since they may benefit more than we do, but happy to do it as an example if you need to.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, because you asked about that, so I thought it was a good day continuing, and then someone else can do it. Yeah.
All right, sorry. So the instruction is to go through these 3 points, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so your story is a statement, and I'm talking about my story as Valentina, correct?
So first you say your value. What do you do? I help entrepreneurs or whatever you do. What is your X factor? So yeah, your X factor and the proof.
All right. Let's do this spontaneously. So my name is Valentina, and I bring value to Capacity and beyond through my knowledge, personal experience as a migrant woman, navigating the world in 4 different countries, and being an economic migrant in some countries, an expatriate in some others, and a now naturalized Swiss citizen. And I would love to have this collection of stories of not only myself, but also everyone whom I've met and had the pleasure to meet throughout my life, to use the best out of their talent, to just find their strengths and to refine them because they have them already in them, and to use that talent to be able to put them in a way that makes sense in the new culture and in a way that brings value to society, and most importantly, that society sees that value for that person. And my X factor is finding the particular personal strength of each individual and how to make them shine in the way that they've always done, but in the way that they should be seen by others. And the proof of that is that I have navigated my personal and professional life through 3 main revolutions that happened through my life. The first one is my migration, as a not necessarily forced migration, but having had to leave my country as in a moment of war. So then I think that the fact that I had to leave and that we were in incredibly vulnerable circumstances made me really, really be close to those that I support and to find our strength and resilience through those stories. Second would be through my passion for social entrepreneurship, which is more knowledge-based experience, and how do we transfer that knowledge to those that deserve to become entrepreneurs and to make it happen and enjoy the process, most importantly. And third, as a mom, because my daughter came to revolutionize my world and made me become a lactation consultant. And that is one of my biggest passions. And I am very, very, very fond of mother's milk and everything around it.
Thanks. Okay, so it was very good, but for the next one, shorter, because this is supposed to go on your profile on LinkedIn. So someone next, like the content that Valentina went through, it's perfect. Now try to do one sentence, 3 points. One person who wants to do it. Sanrita, sorry. And then Cesar, go ahead.
Sorry, so should I just do that 1 point, the value?
I help blah, blah, blah.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
Yeah.
So here it is. I help Indian food lovers overcome their spice confusion by unraveling the spice secrets and make everyday cooking healthy and exciting through my Indian cooking classes.
X factor?
X factor is I'm self-taught cook who believes that you don't have to be a slave to a recipe.
Proof?
Proof is that I have 20 testimonials from my clients, and I have had over about 600 cooking classes.
Perfect. That's your LinkedIn profile.
And latest, sorry, I have to, I have to share the good news. My blog has also been found by the BBC, and I've been interviewed by them.
Bravo.
So thank you.
So
yeah.
all of that is your LinkedIn profile. Value is your statement.
Well, I will put it on.
X factor, and then you link in the LinkedIn the proofs you just mentioned. Okay? Someone else, quick. Then we need to close. Cesar wanted to go.
Okay. I'm a passionate social innovator who loves
Wait,
empower.
This is your X factor.
Oh, okay.
You help. What do you?
I help. My value. I help empowering indigenous peoples living in mineral-rich countries so that they can develop their own mineral extractive operation using impact investing. I'm a passionate social. That's
perfect. Yeah.
I'm a passionate social innovator, and I love reducing social inequalities and creating social inclusion using capital markets. And proof, I spoke at the United Nations. I was invited to speak at the United Nations in New York and Geneva about the inequality between indigenous peoples and mineral wealth, and how to reduce indigenous people's poverty through the mining sector and using impact investing.
Perfect. I would connect with you in LinkedIn.
Okay.
Okay, you guys got it? So value is your statement, X factor, the proof. You can link in the profiles of LinkedIn. You can link to external links and put files. Proof, 3 proofs of what you just told me in the value and X factor. So I go really quick because we need to close. So how to decide where and what to post? Just 5 tips, okay? Your personal profile is personal. Don't post only about business. When people follow you, if they want to follow your business, they follow your business, okay? So if they follow you, you cannot just repost everything that your business is posting and that's it, okay? It's personal. So you can comment on your business post, you can like them, you can eventually sometimes repost them, but just don't mirror your business profile to your personal one, because then it's not personal anymore, okay? Second, write down what do you want people to know about you, which we went through, okay, already, and why. And then try to link all of these aspects to anecdotes, books, stories that are a reflection of number 2. You can use that model that I gave you, interest, etc., and then try to say my next post is going to be about being a working mom. What can I say that happened to my life recently that talks about that? This is the anecdote that backs up that point. My next post is going to be about the capacity program. What anecdote can I say? Oh, I met Melissa, she was great. No, I'm joking. But find an anecdote to back up that. Okay, then write, rewrite, and plan. I told you about planning. No spontaneous. Don't do spelling mistakes. Review every word, even in the personal profile. People think because it's personal, I can allow myself to do some mistakes. No. Okay, write, rewrite, and plan. Also, the post you write in your personal profile. Quality over volume. It's better to post little and very good in a personal profile. I'm not talking about the business, which is different. Personal profile, quality, but good and accurate. And if you don't know how to write well in English, have someone review the English. It's worth it. Okay, like, and I say it also for myself. I many times have doubts about my personal posts, and I give it to a British copywriter, like the Brown Book copywriter, to review it, my personal ones, because making a mistake in your personal profile is really bad. Okay, so try to review it. So remember, we went through the what, your story is meaningful, personal, simple, emotional, and authentic. The who, your personality defines your brand personality. Don't adapt yourself to the rest. Make sure you have self-awareness and control the perception. The way you act, talk, and dress will define the first impression, which is very hard to change. And don't let the channels of social media control you and control them. So these two games, we don't have time, and I'm very sorry, but I will explain them to you in case you guys want to do it with someone, family member, or even between yourselves, okay? So this one is, you have to design this cover of the time with your face on it, okay? 5 years from now, you are the cover of the time. You put a picture of yourself and a title, okay? What does it say? Okay? What does it say here? The person that changed the world because of ABC. What are people saying about you? Okay, this is first. And the second, you can also do it. It's simulating a real interview. Again, 5 years from now, your company is amazing, you're famous, and they're asking you questions about how did you do it? What were the keys to success? Why did you succeed? Okay, I really recommend you that games, because it will position you in the future and allow you to see what steps to take next to get to that, okay? So remember, you are your brand, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Melissa. I hope everybody enjoyed the session. I think we won't have time for the Q&A, or do you have a couple of minutes?
Unfortunately, I have to jump to a client meeting that I cannot, I'm sorry, but I will be happy to either, Julieta, if you want to organize another half-an-hour session for the questions, or after the review the material, I'm happy, or if you want to send me written questions, both options are fine with me.
But we can collect that. There was one question from Sunita in the chat.